Hey everyone, Mike here, and welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I actually have a 2007 Saturn Sky that I've been doing all kinds of modifications to and repairs and those types of things. And today's going to be another video, so please check out my other videos while you're here checking around. If you like what you see, be sure to subscribe, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that little bell that'll notify you of any new videos that I come out with in the future. So today's video is actually going to be more of a not a repair, but sort of a replacement part for something that I think is going bad on me. Just to give you a little story, I was actually away over the weekend. Of course, I'm out of state, and my air conditioner, it was getting hot out because we started in the morning, getting hot out. Air conditioner wouldn't turn on. Compressor wasn't working, so I was kind of wondering what was going on there. And basically, I went and I checked the little, outside temperature gauge on the dash, and it had little dashes on it. So my guess was the coolant temperature sensor wasn't working, and that was probably causing the compressor not to turn on. I guess the default for the computer is to say, hey, if I don't know what the temperature is, I'm just going to shut everything down and make sure nothing works so that the car doesn't overheat, which makes a lot of sense. And then the other thing is too, the fan was constantly running. The fan wasn't turning off and turning on, it would run all the time. Again, an indication that something's obviously wrong, and the computer's saying, hey, we're going to make sure this engine stays cool no matter what, because I have no idea what the temperature is. So anyway, I believe it's the temperature sensor. And here's the funny thing is though, whenever we drove the next morning after that whole thing was happening all day, we drove the next morning when the car cooled down overnight. So the temperature obviously in the car was cold, and we drove around for a little bit. As it started heating up, my check engine light turned on, and the code that came up, and I don't remember the code, but it basically said that the car was not the temperature of the car wasn't heating up fast enough as it should have. So it threw a check engine light, and I went and I cleared that code, and sure enough, boom, all of a sudden the coolant temperature on my dash started working, the AC started working, the fan was working properly, and everything seemed like nothing even happened. It was like, oh, okay, nothing even happened, it was just a glitch. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change that coolant temperature sensor anyway, just in case that is a problem, because if it is, it's obviously going to happen again, and I don't want to deal with that again, especially being out of town. So I'm going to change it here now that I'm back home again, and hopefully that's the problem. Some people were saying it might be the thermostat sticking open. I'm hoping it's not that, because that's a much more involved repair or change than this temperature sensor. But I'm going to try the temperature sensor now, keep an eye on it obviously, and if I never have that problem again, obviously that was it. So let me go ahead and I'm going to show you what the temperature sensor looks like, and show you where it is on the car, so if you have to make that repair, you'll be able to do it as well. Alright, this is the coolant temperature sensor, and it plugs into the engine block. I'll show you where it screws into the engine block. I'll show you where that is, and it does have a little plug in the back that plugs in as well. It's a 19mm socket, and you're going to need a kind of a longer socket on there as well to get past this this plug in order for it to fit. So let me go ahead and show you where this is going to be. I'm just going to take the old one out. I'll show you where the new one goes in, and hopefully it's going to be an easy repair. Okay, so now I have the 2.4 liter engine, and it's obviously the non-turbo version, and I'm on the passenger side, and I'm going to see if I can get my camera down there to kind of show you where the plug is. Of course I have to have this hose in the way, but it's right down there. This is the plug right there. Ugh, I just can't show you there, guys, to make it easy, but anyway, it's right down there is the plug, and then the temperature sensor, coolant temperature sensor, there, maybe you can see it right there. There we go. The coolant temperature sensor is obviously attached to that plug. So basically I'm going to unplug that and then unscrew the sensor out of there. And like I said, it's a 19mm socket. Okay, I'm sure I don't have to tell you that you need to do this when the car engine is cool, because this is a some sort of hose for the coolant, and it gets very hot. So anyway, I'm going to see if I can kind of show you. Here's the plug here. So you just pull this little tab, and the plug comes right out. There's the plug, and like I said, this right here is what we have to disconnect. And I'm really hoping, I think I saw a video where it was a different engine, but a little bit of coolant came out. So I'm hoping a whole lot of coolant does not come out, because that wouldn't be cool. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get my socket in there and see if I can See if I can take this thing out of there. Okay. All right, so there was a little bit of the that's still kind of coming out there a little bit. And you put it back in for a second. Oh, I gotta get the other one so it doesn't keep leaking. One thing the new one does have and does come with it is a little washer. You want to make sure you get that on there. This little brass washer. So I put that on there as well before you plug in the new one. Probably moving the heat shield would probably help the situation. Because they don't give you a whole lot of room, plus I'm holding this camera, doesn't make it easier either. Alright, so it's in. Now I just have to re-plug in the plug. And here it is. And I'll start it up and make sure I can see the temperature. Alright, coolant is working. So it's 91 degrees. Oh, now it's up to 93. So it looks like it is definitely recording the coolant temperature on there. Air conditioner's working. The fan started. So it looks like that is done. And like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and keep an eye on it for a little while. Make sure everything is working fine. And if it is, hopefully I don't have to worry about, like I said, I don't have to worry about the thermostat. Actually, another thing I wanted to check to make sure there's no leaks going on. And I don't see any happening, which is a good thing. So I'm going to actually take it for a quick test drive, get the temperature up and see if it stays there. And if so, that means this temperature gauge should be working. And like I said, I'm going to keep an eye on what's going on, make sure everything is still okay. Okay, I just got back from a test drive and everything seems to be working out well. The temperature did go up to what was supposed to be kind of like 198 to 200, and I think the highest it went was like 205 or 208. Then the fan kicked in and brought it back down again. So it looks like the temperature sensor is working perfectly. Fan's working perfectly. I am, like I said a million times, I'm going to just go ahead and keep an eye on it, you know, for the next bunch of times that I'm driving. Just keep looking at that coolant to make sure the dashes doesn't come up. So if the dashes come up again, then it's something other than the coolant temperature sensor that was the problem. But I'm hoping that was it. I'm hoping I'm done with the whole coolant issue, and that's it. So it looks like that's the end of this video. If you like what you saw, please hit that subscribe button. YouTube loves it when you hit subscribe. I love it when you hit subscribe. Hit that like button as well, and if you do subscribe, be sure, like I said, to hit that little bell. That'll notify you of any other videos that I come up with. So until then, have a fantastic day.